Bitcoin has managed to skyrocket up towards that $20,000 level right here. We are sitting currently at $19,400, which is absolutely amazing price action. But guys, we are going too fast too soon, and I've got some warnings to give you right now. You guys already know the deal. When the market was ready to go up, when we were trading down in these ranges, even when we were getting ready to get that breakup, you are hearing me talk about how I think that the market could be rising up. Not so much in this range because I was taking a little bit of a break, but definitely right before the breakup, I was super positive about this even happening. And I even told you guys that if we manage to break basically above this level, just go back to my previous video, you're going to see I was mentioning that this is potentially a huge range to trade with like 50-60% profit. We've already gone much higher above that, again, just using that 10x leverage number. I just want to remind you guys that Bybit and Prime XBT are running huge offers right now. Bybit, you can get $5,000 by following my link in the description down below. Prime XBT, a further $7,000, and your ability to trade traditional finance markets like the indices, commodities, and Forex as well. So go ahead and check them out because that is 12K in bonuses altogether that you could get. I already mentioned this, so shout out to those of you that did take advantage of it. That is a huge cash bonus that you could have taken advantage to trade this with. And again, with those cash bonuses, whatever you trade with is yours to keep if you make any profits, and if you lose money, it was never yours to begin with, so no losses there either. Go ahead and take a look at this though. We managed to get that breakout, and we've had a huge level of continuation from that point onwards. We've basically just reached the top of my resistance zone right here. That stretches up to $19,600. Getting very close to that 20k resistance point as well. For me, the bulk of the resistance is going to be in this range, and we've actually got that daily Ichimoku cloud that you guys heard me talking about for a while. We are right at the top of it right now, potentially indicating that this could be a top for Bitcoin. I personally think we're moving up way too quick, but we do have some good signs. Take a look at this. The fear and greed index updated, although not completely, at a reading of 31. We're probably going to see it a little bit higher, moving towards neutral levels. Maybe not even, because it's still moving pretty slow. This is a good sign, still showing me that we're certainly not getting overextended by just kind of sentiment levels. I haven't been seeing that either, but obviously there is some excitement starting to seep into the market. So I think that is pretty cool. We've also done really well with our EMA ribbons. Just to take a quick look at where momentum is on this chart, we've done incredibly well right here. Our daily EMA ribbon has completely flipped bullish now for the most part. We've only got a few more EMAs left to cross bullish. Very good progress indeed. We've got amazing support below us. This is actually one of the big things I want to talk to you about in this video, because I certainly think that we're now moving too quickly, and I gave that warning like 1 or 2 videos ago, and I said that this is kind of progressively starting to get a little bit worse, and we do need to get some cool-offs. We're not going to move up or down in a straight line forever. I'm always looking for where the market might get pullbacks, because that's where the next big trade opportunities come in, right? So if we end up getting a pullback into ranges that are like down here at 17.4, for example, that would be a beautiful entry level for a potential long position for us to then rally up a little bit higher, and then look to take on some profits if we continue moving on to the upside. What I do want to show you though on the weekly time frame, just to switch tones just a little bit, is the EMA ribbon. And this isn't something we've looked at recently at all, but if you take a look at this, so the weekly EMA ribbon isn't the most reliable indicator in the world, in my opinion, because it's just too large of a time frame for Bitcoin. But we have seen that Bitcoin does tend to struggle a lot when we get underneath the EMA ribbon. And just the same as the daily, same as the 4 hour, same as the 1 hour, when we end up kind of rising into these resistance bands, that's where I think we could encounter some real problems. I'm not particularly concerned about it right now, other than the fact that there is a huge spread right now. So this is definitely, I think, going to be acting as strong resistance. And by the way, it stretches all the way up to $26,000, which if you watch my previous video, if you're already subscribed to these channel, you're going to know that this was actually a speculative target that I had in one of the charts. I think it might have been this chart right here. Oh, wrong chart. I don't actually have the charts pulled up, unfortunately, but 26k was one of the targets I mentioned in one of my previous videos, and so you'd know about that very well as well. So I think that lines up pretty nicely, but again, I just don't know if we can get there so soon. One of the interesting things to point out is that volume isn't it's not really that high. We've seen a really big move, and in fact on the weekly time frame, it really just kind of puts things into perspective. We've done a lot this week. I mean, we haven't really had a particularly volatile week for a long time. I mean, in fact, if we just kind of calculate it, this has basically been 8-9 weeks of just nothing really going on in the market overall, and then bam, just this one lightsaber candle to the upside. And I want to remind you guys, it's a Saturday at the time of me recording this video, Friday and many other time zones across the world. I mean, we are we're basically at the end of the trading week now. I mean, there's not a whole lot I think that can happen from this point onwards, and with that in mind, this is a I mean, this is a huge candle. Do we necessarily need a lot of volume? No. Bitcoin, in my experience, it doesn't need volume to back its moves necessarily. But I mean, if you don't have it on your side, and when we're in a downtrend and we're just starting to pump up massively and we're doing it a little bit too quickly, we're in a really, really bad downtrend. It's been horrible for a long time. We're trading at what is, and I've said this a few times now, what is, in my opinion, the strongest resistance level that Bitcoin has on this entire chart. And we don't have volume going for us. You know what I mean? Like, I want more signs to tell me that this is the true price action for the market. And the volume is not helping me build that picture right now. I'll be quite honest with you guys. And that's why I'm kind of coming into this video with a little bit of a pinch of salt, right? I want to celebrate with you guys. I want to be happy as much as you guys do. But at the end of the day, I've got to keep rational. I've got to keep my head cool here. We are moving up quite quickly, and we're doing it in quite a heavy area of resistance. We've also got some S&P 500 resistance right here as well, which I think is really very, very much worth taking a look at, because if we look at this red line right here, we can just remove these ones so that it doesn't get too confusing, because that's not relevant anymore. If we look at these red lines right here, I mean, this single red line right here, this was a resistance level for the S&P 500 stretching all the way back to December of 2021. So, I mean, well, actually, that's not a whole lot anymore, is it? Yeah, my bad. That's an entire year where we've been finding resistance off this red line. And I think that if we're able to come up to this level and then potentially capture some resistance here, that could be something quite concerning for the market. Now, this is about to close. We've basically got an hour. This market's going to be closed when you watch this YouTube video, so you're already going to know what's going to happen. But if we do end up finding some resistance up at this level, to me, that would be something very, very important to potentially indicate that the market is going to be topping out and then looking to potentially reverse back down. And what I'm a little bit concerned about is that it could end up dragging Bitcoin down, right? I mean, we've typically seen, that when the S&P 500 chart finds a top, that Bitcoin finds a worse top, right? Take a look at this chart right here. I want to show you this, where Bitcoin, where the S&P 500 found a top right here. This is the same chart I just showed you, 28th of March, 2022. We found this top, went down by 21%. Bitcoin at the very same point, just looking at this same green line right here, Bitcoin at the very same point ending up falling down by 62%, right? The next occasion right here, we see a 19.5% drop on the S&P 500. Again, a green line in the exact same place. We're seeing our drops very, very similar in terms of time frame right here. Bitcoin at the same time pulls a 37% drop. So the question now, an S&P 500 here down by 8%, much smaller example right here, Bitcoin down by 10. The question now is that if the S&P 500 does get this rejection right here, what might that mean for the market? And the good news, I think, is that we do have a situation where MDX is actually in the house right now. If he comes back, I'm going to get him on video soon. Where we did have a situation where we've been setting higher lows in this market for the S&P 500, which is a really, really good sign, potentially looking to set some higher highs, something a little bit like that. And this is something that I've been talking about for a while. I definitely think that the S&P 500 can get up to levels like 4,100, potentially even levels like 4,300, which I think would be really, really fun for us in the crypto space. Because now that a lot of that, and I said this before, when the FTX drama was breaking at first, I was, very, very vocal about how, everyone gets scared about instances like this until it just kind of blows over and then we forget about it, right? It was like Luna. It was the same thing with FTX now. I mean, none of this is particularly surprising. All this stuff is cyclical. People fucking lose their shit. I mean, people absolutely lose their shit when things like the FTX crash happen, and rightfully so. I mean, they're big events, but they really, I think, blow them out of proportion. But you give it some time for that news cycle to wash out a little bit, and we're starting to see, I mean, the market's pumping up now, right? So we've gone from a low, and I want to remind you guys, just so that we don't lose perspective of this, right? I mean, I know this might not seem particularly crazy to you guys right now, but I just want to put this into perspective just for a minute here, and also, for the bears to keep this in mind, because you're going to like this. From the low that we set down at $15,500, we are now up by 25%. So we talk about bear market rallies, guys. That is starting to fit the profile of it now. Now, I'm not saying that we're going to stop rising up or anything like that. I definitely, what I think is most likely is that we either just blast through this because the market's going crazy, or the healthy thing to do is we find some support a little bit lower and then we blast up. But either way, I think we're going up, ladies and gents. But what I'm saying here is that this kind of territory of having bear market rallies where the market can kind of pick up a little bit of steam and then, just drop down, and continue to set new lows. We are starting to fit the profile of that, but also at the same time, we've seen a very, very nice move to the upside right here, So again, bringing this back to the S&P 500, if we do manage to rise up a little bit from here, start hitting these resistance levels, I feel like a lot of that, a lot of the reservations that bears and bulls might have with this market might start to simmer down a little bit, and we could start to see a little bit of buying action picking up in the Bitcoin market as well, which I think would be very, very fun. I think it would be quite engaging for this market. and we could start to see some really, really nice upside coming in. But if we do get a pullback, then we've got to take a look at where the S&P 500 might fall down to. So take a look at this chart right here. If we bring this one up right here, we've got a potential 9% pullback down to the bottom of this range, which is quite bearish, admittedly. And if the downtrend continues, which, now I actually want to take the opportunity to remind you guys about, because like I said, I don't think that's going to happen. But guys, when we get these little uptrends within our bear markets, these are generally the setups for the market to drop back down. And I'm not just pulling this out of my ass. I mean, you can see this is consistently the case, right? When we're trending down, we get these little legs up, but they are only what paves the way to drop down even further, right? Take a look at this one. This was a very big move, about the same as what we're in right now, basically, if we don't count this wick, and then we ended up setting a new low. So if we're doing something similar to that right now, I think we could be in a situation where the market does just rip even lower. And I just want to make sure that we're putting that on our radars right here, because while sentiment is picking up a little bit, I think people are going to start forgetting that we are still in the bear market. We are still in a downtrend, and so targets to the downside are still very much on the cards. And has the S&P 500 bottomed out? I don't know. I'm not trying to make that argument here, but I think a lot of people can make a strong case for why it hasn't. And I just don't want to. I don't want to lose focus on that. Max is back here. We're going to bring him up just in a sec. I don't want to lose focus on that, because I think that a lot of people will, they'll start forgetting that we're in a downtrend if we start breaking key levels, and that's not a trap that I want you guys to be falling into. So let's bring it back to Bitcoin here. Zoom in a little bit more. Talk about our key support levels that we've got in this range. If we zoom in right here, we've got this support level resistance level up at $19,600. There's a lot of interaction around these zones. 20k flat, just obviously quite an important level as well. Like I said, I'm looking for resistance now, even though the market is looking really strong. We just can't keep on blasting up, and if we do, then I certainly think we're going to have a really bad rip down. I honestly think that if we just blast up like this, it could turn into something a little bit like what happened over here, where the market just absolutely just dumped lower and just died basically very, very quickly. I wouldn't want to see that happen, and that's why I'm looking for some support. So if the market does start to reel in a little bit and stop being as excited, we don't even have to drop, but if we just kind of consolidate as well, any sort of correction is fine from here. That to me would be a really good sign. If we do find the market dropping down a little bit, again, like I said, we've got really good support all over the place. We've got our EMA ribbons just moving up very, very nicely. The key level for me is going to be kind of 17.4, because that's where we were finding resistance just over the last basically 2 months or so, 3 months. So this is the key level for me to find some support at if we do manage to get a pullback. And actually, it's a little bit too early to pull this up, but I would like to see what the Fibonacci says about this as well. We've got the 618 level lining up with that perfectly right now. So I mean, I don't want to draw conclusions off this just yet, because you need to know where the market has topped, right? Like, it's a lot easier to draw Fibonacci if the price drops down to here, because then okay, this was a top. I don't know that this is a top right now. I mean, we're basically, if you look at this right here, well, you can't see this because of my face, one sec. If you look at this down here on the bottom right, this shows you that we're right now, at the time we're recording, we're at the top of our day's trading range. So we don't know if the market's going to top here yet. And so that's an important thing to keep in mind when we're drawing our Fibonacci's. But 618 retracement lining up right there, I think is really, really nice. And if we start to see some more confluence like that, that's going to really build up some confidence for me to look to set some long orders down there. And you already know the deal. Any trade I make is going straight inside of the 𝗤𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗡 VIP group, which you can join by following these steps on screen. As far as consolidation goes, I'd just like to see some sideways price action. I mean, we kind of did that in the past, right? This price range that we're in is no stranger to, the market just kind of trading sideways a little bit and then pulling up again. We've also got, with the VPVR, some really, really nice evidence of, just a lot of price action going on in this price range, and yeah, you can take a look at that very, very clearly. We're getting big spikes up here. If you don't know what the VPVR is, you can type this into the YouTube search bar and watch my full tutorial on it. This video is free, and it's part of my wider 𝗤𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗡 Academy courses, where I'm teaching you everything I know about trading from A to Z. You can have no experience in trading whatsoever and pick up these courses and then know absolutely everything that I know in these markets. You're just downloading my brain into yours. So if that sounds like a good deal to you, go ahead and check it out. VPVR right there, looking very, very cool indeed. And Max, I want to bring you up as well, see what you're thinking about this. Yeah. I know that you've got some thoughts. We're actually, thank you, bro. Thank you. We're actually going to do a podcast later on, like right now, and hopefully we're going to be uploading that. But go ahead and take the show, man.
Yeah, man. Don't know what's the question. What do you want to ask, my friend?
I want you to tell me what you're seeing right now. Immediate short term. Are we going to be looking at a drop down, continuing up, consolidating?
Yeah. So a few different scenarios. We can only talk about real scenarios here, because I would say Bitcoin's probably likely to see some resistance between here and this price here. One second, we move it out of the way. If I can get my shit together. So this level here, this is important because this is like a major high. And if we break this, the market will change general structure. So if you just whip out to the weekly, right? You can see we've just been in this downtrend relentlessly for the last year. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And this one here, if we actually do get a candle close on a daily basis above that, that is actually a complete change of structure.
Because that's what I was talking about. And we've already gotten that down here at this high at 18.4. We've already managed to, so on a slightly smaller scale, we're setting higher highs right now.
Exactly. So I'd say this here, between here and where we are now, I think it's likely we're going to see some resistance. So like this level here. Okay, now here we go, legends.
So you think we can get as high as that?
Yeah, I do think we can get. It's not. I wouldn't say it was like it's probabilities and possibilities, but like I would say between here and here we're going to see some resistance. And as a trader, what you want to be doing is like selling into those levels or waiting for some sort of confirmation where it's a down, back up, can't then break the high. Because if you just do the same thing when you zip down the levels into the lower time frames, onto the hourly, for instance, you can see Bitcoin's basically doing the same thing inverted to what it did in the bear market. It's just making higher highs and higher lows. So when it breaks down and loses its prior high, rallies back up, makes a lower low here, makes a lower high here, then you can see that again the structure is changing. Okay, let me get in there. So I'll say between here we're going to see some resistance. Also there is this formation here as well. Let me whip it up for you, which I do think you have to take into account for you legends out there. You have a flush down capitulation. You have 1 move, 2 move, and 3. This looks to me like it could be a bearish ABC. Oh my god, fucking hell. It's difficult, sir. No mouse. It looks like this could play out being a bearish ABC. And the confirmation will be losing this high here. So if we do come down and we lose that high, for me like this, confirming that level there, that would confirm this is a bearish ABC correction. And then I think actually we would come down and at least tag the lows, even the yearly lows down here. And that could bring us to $14,000. That's just one scenario as well to look out for. So if you are long and you're getting super excited right now, make sure you understand this scenario, because if it does break that level, I would say probably get your risk, come out, take the profit from your longs, because a lot of guys are getting long. I'm long from 16.7. Next scenario is we come a little bit higher, we get resistance here. Now that would be a very juicy move. Looks pretty exhausted. You look at your momentum indicators, your oscillators, all that kind of stuff. Also, we look at long to short ratio as well, which I don't know if you've got that anywhere, but we do. The long to short ratio is really promising actually right now. I really like it. So you can see here, obviously this is MDX-Algo, you're a legend for using it. If it's going to load, so
just try refreshing it.
Yeah, let's do that. Nice slow bit here, maybe some editing, so look at your setup though, Sammy. Look at that pretty fucking sick, view. Yeah. Love it. And you got your phone set up. Beautiful. So this is really, really good for me. So you can see actually the market is more short right now.
This is 5 minute though.
Okay. Let me just quickly change to 24 hours. Sir, stop trying to
set me up with a fucking premium account yet. So if you guys think he should, drop a comment right here. I've known this guy for fucking ages, and I don't even have a premium account on this website. This is the
next thing I'm gonna do for you, brother, is
I appreciate it, man.
Sorry, man. I feel bad for you.
That's gonna get me.
You're too much of a legend. You're a legende.
Thank you.
So 24 hours is actually very similar. We have more shorts in the market than longs on Binance. So this does give me, it does give me a little, where are we with the charts? Sorry, sir.
First tab.
Yeah, first tab. So that's giving me a little bit more confidence in Bitcoin going a bit higher. But I would say likely if we break this level, it's going to get very, very long. Lots of people getting very excited. So I'd say, it's difficult to, do exacts when you're doing analysis. In trading terms, I'd say you're looking for shorts around this area because it's this logical next resistance. So you're looking for shorts, 1% risk, play the trade. If we do get above it and hold, something like this, we come up, say we break it, and then we come down and we find support somewhere beneath it and then go higher. Really nice. Clean, yeah, bear market rally. I do think if we break this, we're actually going to probably go significantly higher, maybe to the next resistance up here. Could even be $30,000. And that would be a massive change for Bitcoin because we've actually made the prior highs being broken. That's super important.
To be fair, I think that would make a lot of sense if we just still look back. I think if we see a situation where the market manages to get all the way up here and then kind of pull back and only find support here, that'd be pretty perfect. Because one of the things I was talking about is, I think we can find a lot of support down here, but there's going to be buyers waiting for this. The market probably isn't going to give us that, so it makes more sense to me.
If it's above that high there, like I said, it's still the ABC corrective move. The ABC correction. Let me give an example of the ABC as well.
Just one sec before I finish off. So I think that if we are able to find some support down here, that would be a classic situation where the market rallies up and doesn't give us the support that we want down here. We just get something that's, you know, not as sweet, but, you know, some people still take it. And this is the situation where we start to see that shift where bulls are just willing to buy at higher levels and bears are scared to buy at these levels because they think they can get a better price to exit. So that could, you know, lead us to a nicer rally up. But go ahead and take.
I was going to say, like, this level is the invalidation for the ABC. So here, if we do break down and get below that, I would say it's quite likely that Bitcoin is going to do exactly this. So this is the crash we just had. If you put it into what we are now, it's 1, 2, 3 ABC corrective move up. So this is really it tricks a lot of people because it looks quite nice. Higher, low, higher, high. Here we literally go. Guess what? You lose that level, which is the similar level there. Deviation, see on the flippers. So that would be, again, this level. You know, we've made that micro high. Oh, it's all looking great. Deviation, see on the flippers.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So this is, you got to be careful of this because we've come into this bearish. So you got to keep a bearish mindset if you're in a bear market. You know, at the end of the day, the probability of it going lower is probably still higher because we're still going down. We're in a long-term downtrend. So I'd say that's what we want to look out for. And then last thing to say, if we do lose, I'd say we're probably going to go to 14, bounce trade. Middle zone here, 30,000 for the bear market rally. I do see Bitcoin going to the bear market rally if we get above this high. And then I do see 30K having some very big headwinds and probably actually going all the way back down to probably 14 actually.
I feel like that's too predictable. The
thing is about too predictable, not predictable, it's difficult to... I can only go by what I'm seeing. And I know it seems too predictable, but it's not a strategy to try and counter trade yourself if everyone's thinking it. Do you know what I mean? It's not quantifiable enough for me. So I would just say that would be, if we break that level, this would be the highest probability scenario for me. Doesn't mean I have to trade it accordingly because it's just me saying what I think is going to happen. What I'm actually going to do is probably short this level. That would be the textbook thing to do. Yeah. It's resistance. Short it. If we break above it, I lose a trade. We come back and find it support or buy. Yeah, so we're just flipping SR. That's just that'll be really nice. But it doesn't have to happen. You can get false breakouts. But overall, I'd say, you know, just that was kind of short term, medium term. This scenario, something like that, can be predictable. But sometimes predictable happens because everyone's talking about it. It still can happen. It depends on long to short ratio, really. And then long term, I think obviously you're buying Bitcoin at these prices because Bitcoin long term, you know, you're buying it 85% down from its high. Historically, it's a good time to get to buy. But I'd say this level is important. We've already broken it. It's whether we come here, find support, here support. This is the freaking level. If we lose that, Bitcoin's likely going to go lower and continue, but this is really important to hold this for the bulls because if you lose that, you're just seeing the sellers being just take control again, and SPX as well. But you spoke about that.
I'm going to bring that back on because there's something you were talking about when you were sitting there that I want to bring up. But also just to highlight this, guys, this range that Max has been talking about right here, this right here. I'm going to call this kind of just the bottom of my existing, now support range that we're in.
There as well, so you've done well to get 20K at the top.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just disgusting. There's way too many lines here. Let me just remove these. What I think could definitely...
on the chart.
Yeah, and my accounts are linked. So I've got 6 monitors on that side. Some of you guys may or may not know about that if you follow me on Instagram. Links in the bio. Shit posting there. You guys won't like it, but... You know what it is.
Posting.
yeah.
Sammy's an animal out here, legends.
It's not like what you see on YouTube, legends. But what we have. By the way, I say legends all the time now. I don't know if you noticed.
You have noticed. Yeah. I'm fucking proud of you.
Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm proud of your cars. I'm proud of your setup. I'm proud that you're a fucking legend.
Thank you so much. Thank you. What I think is that if we are able to, kind of do what Max is saying, that would basically be. I mean, I could just stretch this red line a little bit lower, and it would basically be the same analysis. So I think that this would.
Its SR look perfect.
Yeah.
So beautiful.
Yeah, it works out really well. So, with what Mac's saying is basically just don't lose this level.
And it's a buy regardless. Even if we stop now, just buy it for a trade because it will likely bounce a little bit. So, you know what I mean? That's the trade setup. And then if you lose it, you can get out of that trade and it will flush.
And you guys know the deal. The link's down there in the description. That's your free cash to trade. Prime XBT allowed in these traditional markets.
Nice.
Bybit right here, 5K bonus. BitGet as well, available anywhere in the world. No VPN, no KYC. It's not loading up right now. Bam, there we go. $8,000 in rewards. You've got like what? 20K in bonuses. 20K.
It is ridiculous. Yeah. There is no other market which does this kind of freaking rewards.
It's crazy. And let's go take a look at the S&P 500. One of the things you were talking about is that we could come up to tag these highs and then find some support down here. Exactly. Go on, show me what you mean.
So yeah, you kind of nailed it. So I would say that the probability is higher because this high is so high. This higher low is so much higher. If you got to look at the market structure. If we came all the way down here and then we found support here, it's just not as compelling because it's like the buyers didn't step in at a higher price. So this is a really nice high low because it's so high. So it gives me, it's like when you see a formation like a triangle, and then it's like making descending formation, the last little bounce is really weak and it just flushes down. This is the same thing but the other way around. So if you flip this up, if you inverted this chart, right,
you can do that.
Invert the scale, yeah, like that. And then look, this to me looks really nice because it just looks like failure to me, which would mean
actually,
that
to me it looks like we can find some support here, at least one more.
But that would be a downside then.
Yeah, it would.
That'd be, but
and that's what I was talking about.
You're more downside. So I would say that this is what I would look at and how I look at this market. So you have higher highs and higher lows coming in, but guess what? This high is very, very far away from this. So it's actually broke. It hasn't even got above this high yet. So you can see that the market's like, yeah, we're going higher, we're going higher, we're going higher. And then the next one, it's like, sorry, we can't break above the high. If it went like this, then you're looking, it's continuing the trend. But for me, I'm thinking to myself, well,
you don't think we have one more bounce in the side?
Yeah, there could be something like this, but then it could just be that. And then guess what? You have a descending formation.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's definitely something I'd
keep an eye on.
Yeah.
So I'd say, look, if you did, I think SPX is going to break this, actually. I think it's going to break out. This is my hunch, okay? So it's only a slight higher probability. I think we could get this back down here, bang. And then I'm not saying that high. That would be the ideal scenario. This would be great for crypto. This would be great for... Basically, when you see this, you're saying risk on. And then Dixie will be the other way around. Dixie will probably come.
Let's go take a look at that. That's what I wanted to
do.
But
one last. The invalidation is this. Remember, if we don't get above this and we come down, I would say 3,700 is the real level. This level here. This is what I've said on my channel. If we lose that, see you later, bulls. We're going much, much lower. This level is important as well. This level and this level here. If we do this and then we go like that, I think it's probably going to be a flush out, and then crypto, whatever, everything's going to go down risk. So that's the invalidation we don't get above here. But I would say the probability is, I'd say I quite like that. But Dixie, go for Dixie. Where is it, my guy?
Right at the bottom.
Dollar's at the bottom where it should be. Good man.
Yeah, you told me something interesting about the dollar, how the Dixie is comprised of like 40% euro.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
So Dixie isn't, everyone's like, oh, it's the dollar. It's not actually just the dollar. There's a whole basket of other fiats, and a lot of it is euros. So just Google it. You can look at it on Google.
Smarter
but
every day.
A ton of it's in dollars. I was talking about the Swiss franc as well.
Yeah.
But the general feel of it, I would say Dixie more to be, is like Western superpower buying strength in their fiats.
I've been saying that this has dropped a little bit too much now. And even if we're going to keep dropping, something like that would make sense to me. What do you think?
I think we're going to get this. I think we are going to get something like this, or let me zoom out even further. It's going on.
And by the way, the reason this is important, guys, is if the dollar with the Dixie starts rising up, we could start to see that people take their money out of indices like the S&P 500, and as a result, take their money out of Bitcoin as well.
That's the wrong trend line. So go from the impulse move. That was the first. Oh shit, son.
Do you need a log chart, maybe?
No. We can do it from here. This is all good. So that would be the impulse move, the low, that move. Then you've got nice. That's beautiful. I really like that. And then this one here as well is the second higher low impulse. You could just draw it on. Let's make it nice and rough. But actually, you don't even need the lower side, just the top side. I think this, usually Dixie isn't just one hit. I think we get something like that, some sort of like, again up, and then down, and then again up, and then we break. And this would probably be a year, and that probably be the bear market accumulation for Bitcoin. And then when we break this level, that's when the Bitcoin's going to a bull market. Yeah, so I think we've got a year, and I think this is what we're going to get. We can get spikes, but I would say, it's difficult not to say that's a buy, because if you zoom in on it, it's so important. And this is exactly the same as my chart, to be honest. This level.
There aren't really many interpretations to this chart. This is very
it's really it's perfect. It's such a big, because so much money sloshing around. It's difficult to get it wrong. Yeah. But I would say, ideally you're looking at that, and that's going to put a little bit of pressure on Bitcoin again, on obviously risk. And when Dixie is going down, people are buying things with dollars and euros, and then the other way around. So I do think we have some headwinds, but this here would be perfect. 1 year of that is an accumulation bear market for Bitcoin, a flat market, and that's a flat market for Dixie.
So guys, what I really like about MDX's channel is he'll bring stuff up like that, which like most people wouldn't even think about, because they just haven't been traders for a long time. Like, you don't get perspective to draw stuff like this and say this is a year, because it's fucking boring. Like, we want to talk about quick moves up or down. That's not how markets move, other than, I guess, very recently. It just generally doesn't go that way, right? I mean, look at this. This is flat just years of shit.
Years.
Yeah.
Dixie's years. Like, look at the fucking time frame here, this is a going up for, if this is May 14, like this is a year. That's a year up.
Yeah.
You know, so this is a long time frame. So this is actually probably not even drawn properly. It's probably actually longer than a year. But I'd say that would be the bear market scenario. And then this level, if we break this, I think it's really good. And you're actually technically below it right now. So we're getting there. I would say, I have to be completely honest, I think we're going to get a bounce off it. Bitcoin also, that, you know, we could still come down a little bit lower and then Bitcoin goes a bit high and then we get that big bear market crash again after the bear market rally to 30K. And then the other scenario is this, like you said, if we do lose it, then it's going to be great for risk. And then Bitcoin's going to go up, indices, equities, it's going to look really good. And we could get a spike, but I would just say, give it a year maybe.
And that's a whole other discussion. So I'll tell you what, how about we talk about that in the podcast that we're about to record.
I'm up for it, legends.
So guys, go ahead and check it out. If you're not already subscribed, you know what to do. Hit up the like, subscribe, tick the bell, do all the good stuff. Check out Max's YouTube channel. I'm going to link it down in the description down below. And my podcast channel is also going to be down there as well. So that's where that new video with Max is going to be going up. Hope you guys are going to enjoy it very, very much. You guys already know the deal. One final time, if you want to take advantage of these huge offers available to you right now, where you get all this free cash that you can throw into the market, you can literally risk this cash that isn't even yours. Any profits you make are yours. Any losses weren't yours to begin with. Doesn't even matter. Check out Bybit with that link in the description down below. This is obviously the main platform that I've been trading on for years. I've been using them as a client before I even started to work with them. Prime XBT, absolutely phenomenal. You already know the deal. These guys offer those traditional markets. Very, very cool indeed. And BitGet available anywhere in the world. Great options available to you if you are interested. Go ahead and check them with the links in the description down below. There's no reason not to be interested because this is free money. You don't even have to do anything for it, which is the coolest part about it. And of course, if you want to see what I'm putting out, if you want to be able to join my free Telegram group where I'm giving you even more analysis just for myself and my team around the clock free of charge, it is going to be this link down here in the description down below. And if you want to take it a step further and join my VIP group, you're going to be clicking on the @4flights button and then message to ask me how to join. Really hope you've enjoyed this one. You know what to do. Like, subscribe, click the bell, and I'm out. Cheers. Bye.